All right, so this is Christian Melias from Orlando, Florida, my out of town roommate, teammate, and friend. Uh, Christian, I'll start out by asking you, man, what would you say your biggest issues non verbally were when you first came to school here?
My biggest issues non-verbally when I first came to school here. Mm.
Like anything different compared to Florida? Like that you just were having a hard time um, kind of comprehending what was going on, like with other people, like the kind of looks they gave you or anything like that?
Non-verbally. Well, I guess the just kind of overall pace of life here
Hmm.
is a little faster than Florida. Um, I'd say people are more laid back, not just in the way they talk, but really the way they act.
Hmm.
It's not as high strung and go 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 all the time, so it's definitely a more relaxed lifestyle. So I guess that took some time getting adjusted to the big city. I'm from like a small beach town, so yeah, I'd say the pace of life.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was actually my next question was verbally. So you'd say just overall, it's kind of more lax, like in the way they talk to you and stuff.
Yeah, I guess verbally too. Like when you go meet someone, it's kind of you sit down and you talk to them. Hey, how are you doing? Like,
Hmm.
how's your family? How like what's going on with you ever since like you last spoke? And I guess now it's kind of more like straight down to business,
Hmm.
like kind of like very high context culture, I guess.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So, I mean, I know you kind of touched on this, but how would you just say? Is there anything else with the slang there? Like just as far as, uh, I mean, talking speed, wording.
Um, yeah, yeah. I guess Florida is considered southern, so people do have a little twang, a little slang in their speech. Virginia's southern too, and you definitely hear it up here, but I guess it's more like kind of country southern
Uh,
down in Florida. Orlando, where I'm from, where I spent most of high school, is not very southern-ish. It's not like out in the countryside, but there is definitely some of that out there down in Florida. So,
gotcha.
yeah, there is definitely a little bit of dialect differences in verbal communication.
Gotcha. So, what would you say the worst verbal or nonverbal communication uh, incident you had like, when you first came here? Well, you kind of came in and you were like, oh well, this probably wouldn't have happened back home. You know what I mean?
Um, yeah, I just immediately kind of think of our old volleyball coach, I guess.
True.
He would kind of, when you did something wrong or something wasn't going right, instead of being straight up about something and telling you, like a coach is supposed to kind of help you learn what you're doing wrong and how you can fix it.
Hmm.
The Virginia coach kind of just stopped and looked at you and didn't really say much and expected you to kind of figure it out on your own. So
Hmm.
I would say it's kind of playing a little bit of mind games and the fact that it was a lack of communication,
Hmm.
which kind of threw me off. I'm used to someone giving me direct feedback verbally and non-verbally, either by telling me what I'm doing wrong or showing me how I can fix it. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge.
Gotcha. So overall, what were the kind of the biggest strategies you used to deal with that?
Um, that was tough because he was my coach, coming from, and I wanted to come from a place of respect, everything respectful to him, but it was definitely frustrating. I guess I'd say I don't want to admit it, but kind of like was upset, so I would kind of talk behind his back.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I knew he had good intentions. How I found was the easiest way to combat the kind of passive behavior he had was to confront it and be
Hmm.
like, "Hey, Fred, can you help me?" And sometimes he would respond, "Well, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That's why I'm asking you."
Right.
So kind of just being persistent, I guess, in getting a answer from him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, man. That's all I got for you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Hope it helps.